Hi everyone, welcome back. Lovely to see you all here. So I wanted to do a pick a card reading for you guys as we are in the middle of the eclipse season. We had a solar eclipse later this month and the lunar eclipse soon to follow, and I have a pick a card reading for you guys for what this eclipse season is all about for you. So 4 groups as usual. So group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. I do suggest that you pick using your intuition, and if you need more time to pick a pile, this is where you can pause the video. And I'll see you all on the other side, everyone. Hey group 1, let's see what the eclipse season is all about for you. So we have Temperance, Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Pentacles, and for the shadow deck, 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, 5 of Chalices. Major Arcana is Wheel of Fortune. Left-hand Signs card is Stairway Up, and the Angel of Emanations card is Tiferet, Heart and Beauty. Okay. Oof. Let's see. I decided to use both of the sister decks for this pick a card reading, and how I use them for myself is the shadow deck I usually use for myself when I specifically need to examine deeper underlying motives, specifically shadow work, emotions, intuition, and all the deep, more spiritual stuff. And this is the deck for light, what's revealed, what's happening in the material, more light work. So I can tell you this much, guys. A lot of stuff to still work through. Some things from your past that you still can't quite let go. And perhaps it just wasn't time for you to let them go. Because the 9 of Wands is giving me the feeling of you're still working through this, but that's okay. You still have to work through this when you're actually working through it. But it feels like something's got lost somewhere along the way for you in the past year. Most probably, possibly even just a year before, in the previous eclipse season in July 2018. And a lot of you guys are still holding on to it and not being able to let go of the 3 cups that are already pretty much in the water. I think for a lot of you guys this is friendships, camaraderie. Perhaps in this case I actually feel like for some of you guys this is a relationship. This is giving me the feeling of something in your relationships, something in your friendships, perhaps in your family that didn't quite work out, or it was never destined to work out, but the way it didn't work out specifically was just bad and did not sit well with you, and still does not sit well with you, and you can't really do anything about it anymore, and you're still not able to let go of that. And that's what, for a lot of us, eclipse season is all about. Thinking back on what the previous eclipse season was all about and what has happened during this year and how time has passed during this year. And this is what the double Wheel of Fortunes feel like for me, because these cards are taken from a Major Arcana only deck. And it's a doubling of a Wheel of Fortune that feels like a reaffirmation that time is moving on. And for you guys, I think a lot of you find yourselves thinking back on where you were a year ago. And thinking back about how much work and time you've put into something. For a lot of you guys, purely something in the material plane. There's a Pentacles card for date. But for also some of you guys spiritually, I feel like it's about how much you've grown as a person throughout this past year. This card as well is a Stairway Up card. And what's written underneath here is that it symbolizes the soul's path to fulfillment. And I kind of really feel like that is for you guys this year, that, you know, you still have some shadow work to do. You still have some things to really properly let go that you are not quite there yet to do, which is fine. But, you know, everything else though, and overall, you guys are well on your way up. And I know for some of you guys, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you're still in the thick of it, like in the absolute thick of it. And some of you guys are looking past on this previous year and thinking, I did not do enough, or I haven't worked on things enough. It's not true in the way that it's possibly true for yourself when you're reflecting back on things for yourself and you're like thinking, oh, in my own standards, in my own eyes, I have not done enough. But in your own personal path, in the eyes of the, you know, the grander scheme of things, it's just time that needs to be taken. And even if they have been baby steps, the baby steps, a lot of baby steps lead to very far away places, let's say like that. If you hear any noises, sorry about that. It's a lot of you guys are finding balance in your emotions. I think for a lot of you guys previously, whatever happened in previous year or before that led you to be a lot more aggressive, outwardly aggressive towards other people, even when you didn't really want to be so. But I think for a lot of you guys, something happened to you, perhaps connected with this, where you felt like you needed to be extra defensive and more aggressive in your manners and in your behavior towards other people. But now, it's throughout this year, and especially as the year of the eclipse season from previous July is ending now, you feel like, you know what, you're finally actually better now. You are actually learning that, you know, of course, standing up for yourself and of course defending yourself is important, and you need to absolutely do it. But you don't view other people's behavior and whatever they say to you, and the first stance you take up against it is not immediately defensiveness or aggressiveness or just behavior that afterwards you look back on it and you think, you know what, I don't really like how I was behaving myself. Or afterwards you hear from other people that seem to have an impression of you that's just, you didn't even think you left that kind of impression, and you are, maybe before you were happy about the impression you left, and maybe to some degree you still are now, but you're thinking, you know what, it's okay also to not come across immediately as like aggressive. And I think for a lot of you guys, you want to be softer, more compassionate. And I think a lot of you guys were striving for it this year. For or are still actually looking forwards into the future and thinking, you know what, I was not my best self this past year. I'm gonna do better. I want to be softer. I want to be kinder. I want to do better. I want to be the open heart person. I want to be the person that people come to when they need help, when they need somebody to just listen to them. And you want to be that person for other people. I think a lot of you were that person before, but as some nonsense went down, whatever it was in your personal lives, or maybe your work life as well, but it really feels like for most of you guys this is a personal life issue. Whatever nonsense is happening or happens in your personal life really impacted your ability to be there for other people as much as you want to be there for other people. I think the biggest lesson, that's what this pile of cards feels like for you guys. For you, the cards are saying, time keeps moving on. The wheel keeps spinning. Even if you think that you've moved nowhere, you have. You're always moving somewhere. And it's always clockwise. And it's a time of reflection for a lot of you. And I think a lot of you are taking, or will be taking your time to just evaluate what it is that you still, perhaps a lot of you guys are also still thinking, what do you want to do to be the heart, to fulfill your soul, to actually fulfill your, I don't really agree with fulfilling the purpose of whatever, human has on the earth, but it's more about what is there in this earth that's actually for you, that's your place, that's the best place for you, where you feel the most comfortable with, where you belong. But I think a lot of you guys already had that moment last year, and this time, this summer, this eclipse season, July is, especially I think for you around the lunar eclipse time, will be just taking your time and looking back at it and thinking, you know what, the wheel has kept spinning, the stairs have kept moving up, I have grown, whatever it is I've been working on, or even just myself, I have grown as a person. I've grown in the ways that I wanted to grow. And everybody, because nobody's here talking about, perfect people, because, we've grown a lot, which is amazing. But you are also still very conscious of the fact that there are still some things that you are not okay about and you're not okay with. And I think most of you guys will be at a position where you'll be able to look at the work you still need to do and go, yes, I still need to do this work, but that's okay. Everybody always needs to do some more work on themselves. Everybody still always has unresolved underwater stones that they perhaps don't even realize about until, they've already capsized on them. And it's okay that you still have stuff that needs working through, because you are far more emotionally in balance. I wouldn't say emotionally balanced. No, you're just yourself emotionally in a much better place. You've dealt with the core of the issue, the core of the upset, or you've dealt with whatever it is that upset you previously, in the previous year, in the previous eclipse season, and now you've come to a place where you can actually face all the things that are still there, that are smaller and perhaps less urgent and perhaps less upsetting to you, but still upsetting enough that you do realize that I still haven't quite made peace with some things. And that's okay. Everybody always has more stuff to work on. Guys, I really actually love this for you. It feels warm, it feels nice, it feels, it feels peaceful. It feels like nonsense happened in the previous year, and now you are so much better. And now I think a lot of you guys have found yourself, whether it is your friends, your family, your occupation, your hobbies, or some of you guys have just realized, I know where I want to be as a person, and I can see that the steps I've taken to move towards that place, I've actually taken them, and they're actually going forward to that place where I want to be and who I want to be as a person. And take your time, guys, and reflect on it and enjoy that feeling. It's been a year of growth for you guys, a year of just time passing and you growing and you climbing upwards. And I'm so happy for you. Okay. Thank you so much for watching group number 1. I think that's going to be it for you guys. So leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the YouTube things. If this resonated with you. If it didn't, don't do any of those things. Find somebody else who does readings better for you specifically. And thank you so much for watching. See you guys. Hello, group number 2. Let's see what the Eclipse season is all about for you. Okay. King of Swords, Hierophant, 3 of Wands. For the shadow cards, 7 of Chalices, 7 of Cups. Oh, okay, 2 of Pentacles in reverse. I don't do reverses, and I'm surprised that this is in reverse, but we're gonna take it. 8 of Cups, the Judgment, Movement of Time, and Angel of Memories. I think some of you guys may have felt a bit drawn to group number 1. Because it feels like you guys have also just been looking back on the fact that, you know what, time has passed since the previous eclipse season. Because I personally really feel this eclipse season resonating somewhat with the July 2018 eclipse season, as that was something. It certainly left an impact on me as an Aquarius sun, and I think for a lot of you guys, really, you know, some stuff happened, stuff went down past year, and a lot of you guys are just looking back on thinking, yeah, you know what, time has passed. Okay, let's see. I decided to use the sister decks for this, as I use them for different reasons, and I think they also quite nicely match up with, you know, the sun and the moon together, because this is shadow work, this is intuition, this is emotions, this is the deeper core of things, and this is the material, this is light work, this is real tangible things. And I think, like, let's start with the shadows. A lot of you guys are looking back on things, or I'm just gonna be about to realize, I'm sure you will be, I'm sorry, but no, that you haven't quite handled things as well as you wanted to handle them, because this feels like I wanted to do the Two of Pentacles, but, well, I did not quite make it. It feels like a lot of you guys are experiencing like severe work-life balance, where you wanted to have free time with family, time for yourself, outside from work, outside of university, outside of school, and you can just see and you know deep in yourself that it's the school, the university, the work, it's eating away at you, at your time. You wanted to do the whole balance shtick, but it's really not working out for you, and I think that realization might be hitting you like quite a brick in the face, or it's already hit you like a brick in the face. A lot of you guys are realizing that the opportunities that you have in front of you, I think if you're working, these are all the opportunities, opportunities that are offered to you at your work. If you're in university, these are all the possibilities you think are in front of you when you finish university. Same goes for school. I think a lot of you guys are realizing that, like, there's a big possibility of that being some bullshit right there. Because, like, damn, this snake be crawling out. And I like snakes, but, like, not in this context. It feels like deception. It feels like you're realizing, you know what, it looked like I have a whole lot of cups to pick from, but there's actually a lot less of them, and what's in them is actually not what it looks like. Okay, Eight of Cups. Realizing that you're experiencing issues with moving on from something that you should have moved on from. Emotionally moved on from, well, for a lot of you guys, it's purely in the pure sense of, yeah, this is a relationship or a friendship or family relationship you need to move on from. I think, oddly, for a lot of you guys, it feels like this is possibly also your work. Like, for some of you guys, these two are connected. The work-life balance has been so bad. And you kind of feel like maybe you should just go, but you can't quite yet. Second chances for a lot of you guys. Or not even second chances. Like, looking back on something that happened in your past for you, perhaps it was a relationship. It feels like a relationship or an interaction with somebody, perhaps this King of Swords figure. Or just looking back on a past thing, because it feels like a lot of you are spending, or have spent this past year, this eclipse season as well, thinking about where you come from and what's your relationship with your father figure, or perhaps just general parent figure that was more strict, more colder, more analytical. And, you know, that's not a bad thing to be, but, you know, when you're a small child, everything's a bad thing to be. It's really easy to mess up small children, is what I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of you guys are looking back. There's a memory card and there's a judgment card. A lot of you guys are looking back and reevaluating where you came from, who your parent figure is that was this cold, more analytical, more it's not judgmental, but more stricter in a way, emotionally distant parent figure, who they are and where you, in regards to that, come from and how you were influenced by that. Because a lot of you guys are definitely swimming in memory. And not in a bad way, but you are reminiscing. This July for you is all about thinking back on all the things. Where you came from, why are you the way that you are? Thinking about where do you go forward. This is the time rotation card. And also for this, the Three of Wands. The world in your hands. You know, you are standing at the gates. You have a walking stick in your hand and you've already put the walking stick in the ground. And you're like, yes, I'm on my way. I'm already walking a path. Or walking a new path. I think some of you guys this eclipse season is going to be a start of something new. A new occupation, a new job. Guys, you guys may be graduating, perhaps, in whatever capacity. And now you're going to be starting the job this year. Or if you're not just graduating, you're just still doing, you know, internship work. It's internship work for university, and you still feel like, oh, this has a whole new different existence, and this is a whole new different thing. Yeah, for some of you guys, these are connected. Where, for some of you guys, you're looking back on this more disciplined, well, parent figure that you had, and are taking away from that, you know, how to be disciplined and how to stick to things and how to stick to the point and how to stick to a goal and how to take the initiative. And you guys are taking all the best things from that and taking example of that and going forward with something that is completely new for you, perhaps. Some of you guys are making a new business after looking at work-life balance, or after perhaps looking at the fact that, like, I wanted to do a hustling thing outside of work, and that didn't work out this previous year, so I guess I have to start properly doing something to work towards the thing that I want to do. Putting in the time, putting in the effort, putting in the discipline. Let's see. What else do I see for you guys? Second chances for some of you in relationships. And not just relationships. Second chances to redo something or redo a part of your life that you were not happy with. Redo the second chance in relationships that you weren't happy how they turned out. In this case, when I say relationships, I mean, you know, the whole shebang. I don't just mean romantic relationships, I mean friendships, family relationships, relationships in the widest sense. A second chance in redoing relationships, or a second chance in perhaps that work-life balance thing. If you're not the person who was faced with the idea, oh, I can't actually, I wanted to do the balancing act, but I couldn't. And this time, whatever discipline you're evoking, because you're going to be having another shot at it. Whatever it is that you were trying here that didn't work out, you're having another shot at it. Yes, actually, you know what? This Major Arcana card, this comes from a pure Major Arcana deck, and I usually use them as, like, the full combination of, like, what all of this is all about. For me, a lot of times is about this card. And I think for most of you guys, when I say, like, what the general vibe, what this eclipse season is all about for you, is another time let's do this another time. But this time, let's have the disciplines, let's have the point of reference, let's have the conscious realization that things are not what they seem to be, and things are never going to be what they seem to be, and that it's, although it's painful, and I think a lot of you don't like it, for some reason a lot of you don't like this card, you need to move on. You need to move the fuck on, whatever it is about. Perhaps even about your father figure. Whatever it is that the Two of Pentacles for you was about. The balancing act that didn't work out, or the hustle that didn't work out. Some of you guys need to move on from that. Or I think also for a lot of you guys that moving on is moving on from the way that you were doing things before. This didn't pan out for you. Let's try this again. Let's try this again properly this time. And in this case, this does feel like the wheel has turned once, and now it is going to be turning again. And you have another chance, and you have another opportunity. And by all means, you do have all the necessary tools to do it better this time. I'm not saying with full confidence it's going to be better this time, because I don't, this is not something that I can see for you guys. I can't see, I mean, it's all shrouded for me. That part of the question is shrouded for me. But it is definitely a moment of, fuck it, let's try this again. Properly this time. That's what this feels like for you guys. That's the core of the message for you, for your pile cards. Let's try this again, and let's do it better this time. That's what this eclipse season is all about for you. Because the previous eclipse season was a mess, I think, for a lot of people. And a lot of you guys had certain ambitions and ideas of what you wanted to do and where you wanted to be. Didn't work out quite as well as you wanted them to. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Sacrificial lamb, fuck the previous year. Let's try this again. Look back on it with fond memories, look back on it and think, you know what? I can do better. I have it in me. This also feels that I have it in me to do better. I have it in me. I have within me that discipline, that just going at it straight attitude that you need. You have within you that Ace of Swords. The Kings of Swords is holding. Kings of Swords is holding. You have that sword. You can do it. No, maybe the sword is hidden away somewhere. You have it. Sacrificial lamb the previous year. Sacrificial lamb, whatever it was that didn't pan out for you previously. Move on. Start again. You have the world in your hands. Yeah. I'm gonna end on that note. Okay, thank you group 2 so much for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if this vibed with you. If this didn't, don't do any of those things. Find somebody that does readings that do vibe with you. And thank you so much for watching. And best of luck next year of eclipses. See you guys. Bye. Hello, group 3. Let's see what the eclipse season of this year is all about for you. We've got the Emperor, 4 of Swords, 9 of Swords, High Priestess, ooh, Death. Hello, Scorpionic energy, Justice, Jesus, all 3 major arcana. Okay. Okay. Death rehashed. Okay. The Sun and Life Sign. And Bina knowledge. you are navigating some shit and some nonsense purely with your intuition, with your dreams, with your gut feeling. God, it almost feels like previous year's eclipse season. 2018 July eclipse season was absolute bullshit. Who cares about YouTube monetization, you know? It was absolute nonsense. And this feels one of those, like, yeah, this is the same kind of nonsense. I use the sister decks because they are by the same person. They are sister decks. They also have almost pretty much the same symbology, just in a different color scheme. I use the sister decks for a different reason. This is the deck that I usually use for shadow work, for looking deep into myself, deep into my spiritual, personal work, deep into my intuition, to figure underlying stuff out. And this is more real life, the material, the light, the physical things. And you guys, in yourself, personal, like inner world, you are going through a major transformative moment for yourselves. That's why I say this feels like the previous year, because, well, also double death card, and that this is like a general vibe of the whole reading is this. You feel like, oh, okay. Four Swords and Nine of Swords, I've always taken a bit like sister cards, just as well. One is just, you know, more peaceful rest. And the other one is, I'm trying to sleep, but I can't because all the nonsense in my head keeps running through and through and through and through again, and no, that's not good for anyone. God, I can't tell where this is coming from. I can tell the general vibe of it is just like crying, screaming, upset, yelling at yourself, at different people, at whatever it was that happened to you. Or I think for a lot of you guys, wherever you are right now as a human being is just, are you just done with it? And this is what that feels like, and this is what is going on inside you, which is, well, less of a shedding of a skin and more of a, the king is dead, long live the king, you know? Absolutely fuck the previous noise. We're a new person again. What I think maybe a lot of you guys are Scorpios, or you have Scorpio somewhere in your chart, or a lot of it in your chart, because this feels like one of those extremely Scorpionic moments of death, rebirth, phoenix moment, and like one of those phoenix moments that's like, you know, from legend, where, well, it's a volcano exploding phoenix moment, not just like, oh, it's cute, look at its tiny flame. No, you're absolutely raising everything in your path with this kind of a rebirth. A lot of you guys are seeking justice for yourself. A lot of you guys are seeking justice for others, for the world in a way. Perhaps some of you guys are, I think actually, yeah, a lot of you guys are, in whatever way, quite concerned with a broader view of things, where you don't have a personal career or a personal life that's so much at stake. You're mostly looking at where your local community is going, where the planet's going, where your country's going. I don't know. It feels like a larger than self issue. A larger than self rebirth where, oh gosh, okay, it feels like, some of you guys have come to a realization that, like, it's absolute bullshit, and now you are rebuilding yourself from the ground up in a way that would make it possible for you to deal with this in a proper and pure way. And it feels like you're like ascribing to yourself the role of, if nobody else is going to be seeking out justice for this, I will. I will be the judge, the jury, I don't know. Weird court system. Yeah, it feels like a lot of you guys have now or throughout this year, because this eclipse season is really resonating with the past years, you've learned things that you didn't know about before. In whatever capacity, there's been an eye-opening moment. And there's been an eye-opening moment. It was so eye-opening for you that I guess you need to start again as a human. Do better this time. You have quite high standards for yourself. And I don't mean like, how I do my work. No, I mean like as human beings, as moral high standards, and ethical high standards. And for other people too, with the Justice card, yeah, but not nearly as so much as for yourself, where you're just like, I can't keep going on the way I was going on before. You can't. You just can't. I need to do better, or I need to be better. This is a life sign. This is a strong protection sign. It feels like, what does it feel like? It feels like multiple things. One of the things it feels like is this process that you're going through is protected. Whatever you will be doing going forward with this, with reimagining yourself, with the fact that, like, yes, this is the knowledge card, and this is, I'd say, this is my favorite card from the Angel of Emanations deck. I'm just gonna scroll down, yeah. Well, Oracle of Emanations, whatever. This is my favorite card from the deck because of this. Offering something pure, something pure, something true from yourself, from the core of yourself. And I think this is just a general sign that whatever it is you've realized, whatever it is you're going to be doing from now on, the universe has got your back. I don't know, does that make sense? This, where you are now, this transformation and what you become through this transformation is protected, is protected by you. I don't know how to say it differently, but you will not be compromised in this thing that you are doing. You will not be halted in your tracks through this transformation process. This feels like the sun, the world, the universe asserting that this is a mark of protection for you, for this transformation process that you're going through. It's important. I don't like using the word sacred, but It's truly important, not just for you, but I think for the people around you. For those of you who are like, this transformation process is about your community in whatever capacity. This transformation process, that's your transformation process, it's also important for your surrounding community. And take your time off. Whatever it is this is happening, this realization process, you're working, you're going to university, you're going to school, whatever it is, take your time off. Take days off, take sick leave. I don't know. You have to work through this consciously and subconsciously. I mean, this whole thing is like subconscious, level. It's high priestess, it's intuition work. It's like figuring shit out, knowing shit out on the deepest level. I'm just saying, you guys need to chill during all this. You need to rest during all this. And you can't keep pushing through it without working through this. This is what that Nine of Swords feels like. It feels like if you don't properly go through this transformation process, you will not be getting proper sleep for a long time. For a lot of you guys, there's something on the edge of your realization, even now, on the edge of like, oh, I'm just about to make sense of something about yourself, about your life, about your community, about whatever nonsense it is. It's sitting on the edge of your thoughts, and if you don't take some time off and take time off to figure it out, you are not going to be able to sleep. This is going to absolutely wreck you for the longest time. And you're going to become, whatever it is this process is going through, you're going to become the emperor figure for a lot of people. The person of authority, the person that they can turn to, the person who has a good handle on things, who is intelligent, who is powerful, who can do everything that needs to be done. An authority figure you can ask advice to, and it feels like a lot of you guys, maybe you don't feel competent enough to offer advice to anyone, but I don't know, I'd say that even if you don't feel competent, if people see you and they go to you for advice, people don't only do that, but people far more likely to go to the people for advice who they see that like they are the kind of a person I want to be, or they have the knowledge that I don't, or they can figure out stuff in the way that I can't. They have something that I don't, and obviously they're far more better authority to give me any kind of advice than people who don't, who have less than I do, and who know less than I do, and who are not in the place that I am. It's not a shedding of skin, it's a phoenix moment that's gonna fucking raise the hills. You know, like a forest fire? One of those really, really, really bad ones, where it's absolutely devastating, and then, 3 years later, it's the most luscious field ever, because on the ashes of the old, the new can grow even better. This is not even a shedding of the skin, this is a major transformation. And I don't mean like graduation or a new job, it's not about that. It's about your own personal development, your own personal integrity, your own who you are as a person. It's about that. It's not about your work or your school or whatever, no. This is about who you are as a person. This was a lot. Oh gosh, okay. It feels banal. but I'm still starting out on this channel, so I gotta do the thing. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Do those things if they, you know, didn't vibe with you, but gosh, jeez, okay. If you guys have, like, you know, leave a comment about the situation, because this feels like a lot for you. Well, thank you so much for watching. So I'll hopefully be doing more pick a cards next week. I don't have really time this week, but I hope to, you know, get gears going for more things the next week. Also, leave suggestions down below in the comments for what kind of pick a card readings would you guys like to see from me. I don't have a really big amount of decks, but the things I read are all, they don't need decks technically. Thank you so much for watching. Group 3. Gosh, good luck. Bye. Hello, Group 4. Let's see what this eclipse season is all about for you. The Fragment, 8 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, and for shadow work, oh, 6 of Wands. Oh, the Orchard. Okay, I haven't seen you in a while. Knight of Cups. The Sun. Oof. Limus Broom. And Uriel, Angel of Flame. Okay, this is an odd one. The first thing I see for you guys is happiness. Happiness in the purest, most direct way. With the Sun, with the 10 of Pentacles, and oddly enough with the 6 of Wands. And with this card, the Limus Broom. This is a deity name, this is not a translatable word. But in this case, it feels like the sun for me. This is technically, it's written underneath the name that it's about time movement. And it's about cleaning stuff up. Cleaning things up, cleaning issues up. But no, this is like fire, fire, fire. But like in the sun, like in the warmest sense, like your soul feeling warm and happy. Oh, okay. I just saw something. These are my shadow work cards. These is my shadow work deck that I use, and this is more for light work, for the material world work. This is for intuition, emotions. This is for earth, ground, swords, air, intelligence. I think a lot of you guys are not realizing. Not even a lot of you guys are not letting yourselves to be happy with where you have gotten. I hope that's not offensive for you. It's weird. In the shadow side, you have the 6 of Wands and the Knight of Cups, and the Orchard for this case feels like, you know, it's the orchard of, there's so many apple trees and it's all wonderful and I'm gonna gather the prettiest, most nicest apples. That's what it feels like in this context. This is the extra card for this deck, by the way. And this is too, like, it's fire, it's warmth, it's happiness, and that's what this, you know, eclipse season is about for you. And oddly enough, a lot of you guys are just like 8 of Swords about it. I would rather stay within the confines of what I previously know about myself, what I previously have seen about myself, instead of actually seeing the bigger picture and seeing the fact that, you know, while I'm doing an Eight of Swords of, nah, I don't want to look at it, I'm walking through the land of plenty. I have the victory, I have the relationship, I have the emotional happiness. And I have the sun. I have the sun in the purest sense of warmth and happiness and just, when you can just feel the body synthesizing D vitamin when you're out in the sunlight. A lot of you guys will be, for this eclipse season, will be realizing that, hey, you have all of this. And it'll take you a hermit moment to even come to this realization. It'll take a hermit moment. I don't know why these two are connected. No, I know why. These are connected. It'll take you a hermit moment to go away from everyone, to withdraw within yourself, into what previously was your inner world. What feels like for a lot of you guys, you know, it was quite bad for you emotionally. Or just in some ways, you guys, in whatever way, you weren't happy. You weren't happy with your job, with your relationships before, with your family, with whatever you were doing with your life. You weren't happy about it. And this previous year has happened because this eclipse season overall is very much tied into last year's, the 2018 July eclipse season. It feels like a year has passed. It's been a solid rotation from, you know, whatever nonsense went down to you in July previous year. Because that certainly did a lot for me. And now, for a lot of you guys, you are not... Nonsense went down, you weren't happy about it, and a year has passed, and whatever you've done throughout that year, you're actually good now. Happiness, fulfillment, sun, flame, you're passionate about things again. You have a new relationships, or just a new relationships. A new relationship, or just even the joy of feeling like you can be the one who could go to people and go like, hey, here's my cup. Want to hang out? Want to do a Two of Cups with my Knight of Cups moment? And you've seen recognition by other people too. There's been a victory lap for you. And for just by other people, but also by yourself too. Like if you reached some milestone for yourself in your personal development that even others maybe didn't celebrate, but it was for you a personal celebration. Or this feels like for most of you, this is like other people celebrated your successes. And the Ten of Pentacles is, you know, the meat and potatoes and honey card for me. It's a honey card for me, really. Well, I mean, this is even more a honey card, but it feels like honey this time. It feels like, look at how rich, look at how sweet, look at how much things have worked out in this material plane for you. Look at how solid things are. And for some of this, for some reason, you guys don't want to see it. Or you just don't see it yet. You haven't really taken the time. Yeah, okay. See, that's the problem. I just realized a problem that you guys have. Or a lot of you guys have. I keep speaking like I'm talking to one person. For a lot of you, it's about the fact that you've been working and doing well, and you've been living your life in whatever capacity you've been living your life. Whatever capacity you've been living your life, it's done good for you. It's done really good for you. You're in a good, warm place now. But you haven't taken the time to lift up your head from that process. You haven't taken the time to pause, step back and look where you've gotten and evaluated where you've gotten, what have you achieved? What goals had you set out for yourself, and what of that had you achieved? If not even you didn't have solid goals, just like general aspirations. This is going to take a moment of just for yourself, taking some time for yourself, alone, taking a hermit walk in the orchard of your own inner world and realizing, you know what? Relationships are working out, work's working out. Excellent sentence. My career is working out, my school's working out, stuff is really working out for me. You know, it's maybe not ideal. I'm not saying it's ideal, but ooh boy, does it feel a whole lot better than it did before. And if you still haven't reached this moment of reflecting about all of it, everything I'm saying to you sounds like nonsense right about now. Or even just this whole time it sounds like nonsense. What do you mean I'm happy? I'm not happy. I'm just saying, this eclipse for you guys, take your time. Reflect on where you are at. Really examine where you were. That's the thing I need to tell you. Take a really large, bright light at where you were at a year ago and where you are at now. And take a good hard look at that and examine how is it? Has anything changed? And if it has changed, then how? And I think a lot of you will be surprised by how good it is. A lot of you have a lot more energy than you thought, or that you had a year ago. And this feels like the sun, but in this case, yeah, it's also about what the actual meaning of the card says it is. Time has moved on and swept away the previous nonsense and the previous feelings and the previous year and the previous solar eclipse. Time has moved on. And you are taking a ride on a dragon of water. And there's fish everywhere. And it's a victory lap, and it isn't a victory lap so much of it's like a woohoo, yeah, victory lap. It's more of just like, hey, look at me here right now, peacefully existing in this state of I'm actually doing well for myself, and I've actually done a lot of good for myself, and hey, I kind of, in some regards, where I was before a year ago, now I've actually made it. And, you know, I still can make it even more. Obviously, absolutely, you can still grow even more, and you can still make it even better, but in regards to this whole cycle of this year, of this eclipse year since the previous July, you've done really well for yourself. Even if it doesn't feel like that right now. I think if you just take the time to just actually reflect on where you were at a year ago and where you're at now, you'll find that you are perhaps even a lot different than you thought you were. You've changed, and life around you has changed. The people around you have changed. Your successes have changed. Your circumstances have changed. And that's the thing about, yes, that's the thing that I need to say to you. That's the thing about slow change. We don't notice it until it suddenly hits us. It's like hair regrowing. You don't realize how long it's gotten until at one point it's like, whoa, wait, at what time did it become this big? Or when you get a new pet and you take them in younger it's a puppy or a kitten or a small, but whatever, a small pet, when you take them in younger, and then they grow in front of your eyes so slowly that you don't even notice that they've grown up until the moment where you have a friend come over that saw the animal as a small baby and now sees them as a grown baby, and they're like, whoa, they've gotten so big, and you're like, wait, what? Oh yeah, I guess that, oh wow, that they've really grown. And this feels like that. This situation feels like that. The realization, hey, but look, stuff has really grown, stuff has really happened, stuff has really moved. I've grown. I've happened. I've moved. So this eclipse season is about that. It's about taking time, about stepping back and realizing that, you know, without you noticing, small changes have been, all the baby steps have been building and building up and building up, and hey, look, but I've gotten so far. And these apples are gorgeous. Okay, group 4. That's gonna be that for you. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the banal things. If this vibed with you, if this didn't vibe with you, find another card reader that does vibe with you. Okay. Hopefully more pick card readings in the next week. And actually, yes, please leave a comment on topics of what kind of pick a card readings would you like to see from me. That would be greatly appreciated. You know, I'm just starting out, and I do hope to make this a cornerstone of my future life, this YouTube channel. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all next time. Bye!